right. What is our show called?
It's Romance Writers Therapy.
Oh, that's so ASMR of you. Hi, welcome to Romance Writers Therapy. How are you doing, Marty? Because that's Marty, and I'm Kate Pryor.
Yes, and that's her.
Marty B.
And I am doing well, Kate Pryor. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I am taking a leaf out of your notebook and painting my nails.
Dude, I am so disappointed. I sat down. We're running late on starting recording. I sat down here, knocked over my nail polish remover, and was like, dang it, I forgot my nail polish. So I'm so disappointed right now. I seriously just need to move my nail polish down to the basement because this is where I would do it. I'm tempted to text Andrew and be like, hey, can you bring it down for me?
I need it. It's an emergency.
It's an emergency.
I'm not going to have anything to do with my hands while we talk.
While you're taking care of the children and just came back from work after a long day, can you also do this for me right now because it's very important?
Just chuck it at my head. I need it.
I need it.
Brain not here tonight.
Not here, Brain.
Brain been fried all day. No, at 4:45, something like that. Mm-hmm. One of my superiors at work came over to me and was like, I need your opinion on this. And I was like, oh God, I don't.
How about not today? Can we put a pin in it until tomorrow?
Yeah, it was and the worst thing that was happening was that, so when you open Canva, you can use those pre-made templates. Uh-huh. And so I was like, I need some slide presentation designs for a PowerPoint. Mm-hmm. And I opened up the template and it just said business meeting on it. And so I had left the text there. And she looked at my computer and it just says business meeting. It was it just looks like I'm super phoning it in. I'm not doing real work over here.
That's hilarious.
And
I'm over here doing 3 businesses today.
Yes, it was very oh God, I wish I want to explain that, but I feel like if I try to,
it's just gonna make it look worse.
Yeah, I'm trying to hide the fact that it's definitely
a template and you're just making it happen. Did you ever watch BoJack Horseman?
I've seen bits of it.
Okay, well, do you remember the 3 toddlers stacked on top of each other in a trench coat?
Oh, Jesus.
That the cat is dating?
What?
Yes, man, that's the best part of that entire show. Yes.
Oh my God, I've seen so very little of this.
There's a whole character. Yeah, it's a whole character. And she's like, all you care about is work. And then the little toddler voice is like, I did 3 businesses today.
Oh my God.
The best thing ever.
Okay, you cannot turn this episode into another surprise baby episode. That was too much.
It was a lot.
Although I'm gonna be real,
I love how I turned it into it. I was just like, yes. Hi, Jack.
Well, I started telling you about all my grossest things, and then you were like, "Oh, baby."
This one time when I had a child.
So we were gonna talk about another trope today.
We were.
I have to look up what we said it would be.
Fake relationship is what we said.
Fake dating? Yeah, I think that sounds about right. That sounds plausible.
That's a plan and a half.
More than we need.
Look. Let's divide that by 2. That's about what we have here.
Oh, you only want 75% of a plan?
I mean,
Austin, is the math on that right? If I divide a plan and a half by 2.
Yeah, that's 75%. Proper math. You did a great job.
Yes,
3/4 plus 3/4 equals 1.5. Yes.
Oh, wow. Girl Scouts has done me good.
Thanks, Girl Scouts. I can make change for $1.50.
Yeah, because the Girl Scout cookies used to be $3.75 when I had to sell them. And
okay.
I had to, my dad was constantly quizzing me on all right, if someone says they want 2 boxes, how much is that gonna be? And I'd be like, is it $7.50?
Oh my God, that's
and hilarious. Pray that I got it right. No actual thought went into it.
It's just all feeling.
Just trust in your gut and saying some numbers.
Okay, what I really want to do to you now is like hijack this episode and make it a billionaire episode. Where we talk
Okay.
about billionaires instead.
I mean, we could.
I mean, I don't.
You would have to.
I don't actually want to talk about it, as much as I just want to like ruin your life again. Like,
I mean,
this is now my game.
I'll never get to do this episode.
You'll never get to talk about fake relationship.
Yeah,
So.
and it's like I have all these notes, and they will just sit and get dusty.
Oh, you have notes written down? You really do have a plan and a half.
Oh.
The amount I just rely on my brain showing up in a way that like I'm like, we'll see what happens.
So do you want to do billionaires?
No, not at all.
No? Okay. All right.
No, the only billionaire romances I've read are Annika Martin's, and those are delightful. They're very, very fun, but I don't feel like I could speak to the trope very well.
Yeah, no, I do feel, well, no, it's not entirely true. I do feel like I ended up writing a how do I say this?
No, I'm waiting. I'm so excited
Well,
for what's coming next.
You know how like all the monster books have like this anti-capitalist bent to them?
Yeah.
I mean, the first one at least. I don't know. I can't remember if the second
Yours?
one does. Yeah, mine. No, I'm just talking about monster
Okay.
erotica in general.
I'm
Did I
really
lose you?
so confused.
No,
You
no,
lost
I'm
my
making
brain.
a joke. I'm making
Okay.
a joke.
Okay, I'm like, okay, but you said that so seriously. I'm like, I assume she's being sarcastic because I can't imagine all monster romance is anti-capitalism.
I mean, I haven't read a pro-capitalist monster romance.
I have
yet,
not read a
but-
pro-capitalist monster romance. This is true.
I mean, but like I don't think we can paint the genre with that broad brush.
I'm
just
sure there
because
is I'm sure there is one, like a fae. I feel like fae would definitely fit really well into like pro-capitalism. They're not exactly socialists, right?
I have no idea. I feel like there's a lot of different types of fae lore.
Okay, but like there is a type of fae lore that would definitely be very pro-capitalist, right?
Yeah, Tamlin.
Would you say?
Tamlin from ACOTAR. There's like specifically not like pro-capitalism, but pro-feudal lord type.
Okay.
Like there is a scene where it's like there's all the fairies are coming to him and giving them their tithe or like taxes or whatever, and then Feyre's trying to be like, what if I gave that one who can't afford her taxes my necklace so she could pay her taxes? And he's like, no, that's not how money works. I gave you the necklace. And she's like, yeah, but it's mine to do what I want. Like it's a whole thing in the book. And then it like, actually, let's talk about fantasy and inconsistency in supporting monarchies and feudalism. And
Okay. Again,
I don't actually want to go into that, but
I don't
no,
think I can speak to it as well.
No, I don't think I have like enough thoughts really either to go in depth on that. But like that, like I have thoughts floating around about that.
Do you feel like the fake relationship trope is like faking us out every time we go to talk about it?
Yeah, it's almost like we're faking that we can do a fake relationship trope episode. Okay, no, let's talk about this for real.
The exciting part about us talking about this is like the will they, won't they? You know?
Yeah, that is so. Okay, I'm gonna use that as our hook to get us into this gnarly beast.
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, the will they, won't they is like the height of the trope. Oh
I
god,
agree.
I can't get any further with this. I agree. Please say something more.
You concur.
No, okay, so
like kind of the beginning of the trope is them agreeing to fake date.
Yeah, the circumstances that end up pushing them into this kind. You just wrote a fake dating book.
I did.
How do we not have more thoughts on this?
Well, you don't have a fake dating book that you've released yet.
I have some fake dating plot ideas that are just kind of hanging in the wings.
I'm sure I can speak to this. And like part of why Just Fake Married worked out was because of input from you. So you did. You were like part of the juice of the trope is like, are they holding my hand because they want to, or because people are watching, and like that angsty sort of like
yeah,
feeling.
the performativeness of it
Exactly.
versus I think a big thing that kind of came up in your book is
Mhm.
that they very like it's funny how they can like be actively sleeping with each other and like doing all the like relationship things
Mhm.
that I feel like even some fake dating tropes they don't actually like commit that much.
I guess I'm
But
confused. What do you mean?
like
You might have
okay,
to
so
repeat yourself quite a bit tonight, because like my brain, I rely on my brain cells to show up, but they don't always. So
okay, big mood,
okay,
big
so
mood.
yeah, I know, right? Okay,
Um,
so can you explain that again? Where other books, so they're actively sleeping together. I got there, and then my brain went offline.
okay, so a lot of books, it's about the appearance of a relationship. So
Okay.
it gets them as far as like pressure the happy couple into like kissing and or like
Uh-huh.
holding hands. Like, oh, let's see how happy you are together.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of the trope is that they have to perform these actions that they're not necessarily naturally happening.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And but like it that is kind of where the surface levelness of it ends because no one's being like, hey, we need to watch you bone down to believe that you're
Yeah.
actually dating each other. No,
Uh-huh.
that doesn't
Uh-huh.
unless you're like in some kind of gnarly fantasy book, I don't think that's gonna happen.
That would be hilarious. Okay,
God, now I'm
sorry.
gonna
It would have to be handled with some finesse so it doesn't come off, predatorial. But like,
yeah, no,
that
you
would
like that's why I
be,
said fantasy. I feel like you need that
yeah, you definitely need that.
suspension of disbelief and like
Yeah.
I don't
And
think
you'd
you
have
could
to
get
build
away with
something
that
into
happening.
the culture, some ritual or
Um
something into the culture.
yeah. But
Okay.
so I feel like so you get a lot of fake dating in your historicals, in your contemporaries.
Uh-huh.
Because it is that, you know, like socially contrived moment, but also you do have to, I feel like you have to really spend more time in the beginning. I want to say the first quarter to a first half of these stories. I don't want to give it to a first half, maybe quarter to a third.
Yeah.
Really laying the foundation
Yes.
for why they are doing this. Because if I
Yes.
don't believe why they're doing this, it's like the reader will be like, actually, I'm thinking of other things you guys could have done that would have solved your problem much
Yes.
easier. I feel like unless it's something pretty cut and dry, like I need my green card to stay in this country, and so I'm marrying you so that I can stay. Like that kind of a thing. Like there's a whole movie based on that, right? There's got like Ryan Reynolds and
Yeah, the proposal.
The Proposal, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good movie actually. I really like that movie.
It was cute. Yeah. Problematic.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Every
yeah, Betty
early
White's
aughts
dance there.
comedy.
Yeah. I mean, as pretty much everything
Yeah.
in our past is problematic.
You say that like our past, like you and my specifically.
Like yours and mine. Well, I don't have a great example of us being problematic, but I'm sure there are some. So
yeah. Okay, so like
25% to a third of the way through, you're really laying the foundation.
yeah, no, just making it believable because like if it's not believable, the whole thing falls apart. People are just they're not buying it, and that really takes you out of the because as a trope, it's definitely the suspend your disbelief type of trope.
Yeah.
And
unless of
but
course
you do
it's
have
like
to
celebrities pretending to be dating, because apparently that does actually happen.
celebrity romance is its own genre.
Yeah.
I haven't read a lot in that area.
I haven't read a lot in that area either. That was one of the things with Just Fake Married was, yeah, it is about 25% of the book before the fake relationship comes in. And it is, it's laying down the foundation and setting the stake. And like, so part of me was like, man, I'm really like the inciting incident is like very in here, right?
Yeah, and so you might feel like your pacing is off.
Yeah.
Because you really have to spend that time. Like you also might feel like you're taking forever to get to anything, like getting to the good part.
Yeah, well, and like you just have to, because it depends on what kind of romance you're writing too. But like, I tend to write romance where like people are there to read a lot of like on-page chemistry, right? Like that tends to be, for one thing, what I want to write. One of the ways I did that was through like unrequited interest that was actually requited, right? like they both had preconceived notions about why the other person wasn't interested, and therefore never making a move, and
mutual pining.
Exactly. Oh, I love mutual pining. Love it. You know what? Another this season you had Tessa Dare that you brought up every single episode, and this season is my Roxy Noir. Because another great fake dating book is The 1 Month Boyfriend.
Ooh, how is that one?
Oh my god.
No, actually,
for one thing, my absolute favorite read of last year. Like I loved that book so much. Like multiple times where I laughed out loud. The way oh my gosh, you know how I'm always like, God, how do you describe kissing? Like their faces are touching in a way that they both like, right? Like,
God, yeah, no, I had to write a kissing scene I was writing the kissing scene this morning, and I was like, I feel like if I just talk about the literal ways their mouths are just touching each other, it's it's gonna sound gross. Like, all right, now she's gonna lick his teeth, I guess.
But her kissing scenes in that book were so good. I highlighted them and put notes like, hey, read these again. And so I literally, like, when I had to write another kissing scene, I went and read all of those highlights
to like dissect them and be like, okay, that's what's good about this.
Absolutely. And then applied it to the kissing scene I was writing. And that book is so good, Kate. It is so good.
Okay. It's been on my TBR, but you know me, I've been like,
I know,
doing that thing where I'm like, I can't read another book until I finish writing this one. And I don't know why I'm like this.
Yeah.
Because right after I finish writing this, I'm just going to have to write the next book.
So. Well, and like also like you have told me multiple times that reading something that you think is really good, like inspires you to put that down and go write.
Yeah.
So like you should just let yourself read. Like
I know, but the thing is, a lot of the time
to make output.
When that happens, it's I want to do a similar premise to the book. Like I want, not all the time, but like every
it's strongly
so often,
inspired by sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like, what if we took this like a premise like this, but we moved some things around, we got rid of a couple of things, we added some things in. This premise done if these pieces were positioned this way, you know? And then I'm like, okay, I have to put it down, and I have to go write that down, and I have to go figure out how all that would work, and then what direction.
Yeah.
Because you're setting up trajectories when you kind of create the premise. You know, we've talked before about like your premise is a promise to your reader. And so a lot of the time with fake dating, promise you're making is that it's all going to come crashing down. That if it's that Chekhov's gun, if you have a lie, the truth must come out at some point. If you have a gun on the wall, it must go off. If you, I don't know, all those things.
The point I was going to make about the 1 month boyfriend is the way that she set the premise, for one thing, she really put it very early on. Like, it was really placed very quickly. And the way that she kind of, like, began creating the tension was that these two people had already decided they were enemies to lovers as well.
Okay.
And so they had already decided they didn't like each other, but they're coming together for this common cause. And so, like, their dislike for each other got meddled in with their attraction for each other that they were too stupid to see. So it's also like an idiots to lovers too. I mean, it is just a delight. So I do recommend it. And it also like covers really big issues like post-traumatic stress, and like it has these really like big moments while still being a rom-com. And, like, I cannot stress that enough. Like, she really balanced the heavy in a way that, like, didn't make me... The only time I ever wanted to cry was when I was happy. Right? Like she did a really good job. It is fantastically toned. Like, really well done. Such a good book. Everyone should read it. Please read it and then talk to me about it. I am bereft.
You just want to... Yeah.
So, I want someone to talk to about it.
So I feel like that's kind of the thing with the fake dating trope, is that it layers so well with other tropes.
Yes.
Because if you have it just by itself, you might feel like you don't have enough in the story. Like, well, so, okay, the thing I like so much about fake dating is that it really does create a lot of opportunities right off the bat for you to kind of fill in those romancing the beat plot beats. You know,
absolutely. It's very much like a plot driven trope.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's what do you call it? Like, so, you know, those we've talked about I think it's kind of the second quarter falling in love stage of the book, where you know, you kind of have that kind of falling in love montage of various things that are going to bring them closer together, but it's going to kind of push them together, but they're also kind of leaning away from each other, like, okay. You have an opportunity. Well, okay, so maybe I just go into like a little bit of a tangent. When I outline my stories, I kind of like to pace them in a way that's like, here are like various stages of physical interaction. So like you get that maybe they bump into each other or like touch hands or whatever, you know, have your little Mr. Darcy hand flex moment.
Yeah.
And so like very barest of touch. And then like the next beat in this kind of weird template I have in my head that I have not seen anyone else really talk about, so I don't even know if it's like useful.
I'm very interested in this.
Okay,
so tell me about your template.
Okay. So like that's the first kind of beat.
Is like a casual touch sort of thing?
Like it can be a casual touch. Like you don't need to have
or a
all
filing
the beats
cabinet
necessarily.
hitting someone in the face.
Yeah, it can be violent. No. I try to like create I don't know what the word I want is because it's not ombre.
Ambiance?
No. It's like that kind of gradient. Not even a gradient. It's an increasing of intensity. We're gonna start at something that's low intensity, but it's still there, and then the next beat is kind of like we're doubling in intensity. Okay, maybe they kiss, and then they have then the next beat is Jesus.
Are
the next
all
beat is Jesus
within a scene?
No.
Jesus comes
These are
down,
all separate.
And he's like, sex is bad.
Jesus is like, leave room for me. In your...
I'm just gonna cozy in here.
No, how do I describe this? Okay, so I'm sorry, my brain is having such a hard time with this tonight.
Okay.
These are all separate scenes.
Okay.
Or chapters or
but
whatever.
But they're kind of like building a crescendo.
Yes, a crescendo is a really good word for it. So like, and so it's kind of like a way of maintaining an ever increasing amount of heat in your story with that, like, and kind of pacing it appropriately with the climactic tension of the plot. And so like they kiss one beat, then the next beat maybe they, I don't know, heavily make out, or the next beat they sort of start to get into each other's pants, maybe they're interrupted. Eventually, so you can create as many beats as you want as long as you order them in a way of increasing intensity. So that way you're never kind of having a beat where it feels like, oh, they only held hands this scene? What? Or like, you know.
Exactly. So like you don't have a beat that goes backwards.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel like you're decreasing. You're
not like going up a hill to go down a valley to go up a hill. You're always moving upwards.
Yeah. And like I don't want this to like fall into like, you know, you can't have sex on the first page kind of thing. Yeah, no, I think like, you can.
Well, because like you put I mean, you have sex I think in your second chapter of Orc in the Office, right?
Yeah.
But like I was just going to like explain how you accomplish this and why it works still with like that much intimacy right up front. And it's that the physical intimacy is there, but as they are growing in like their emotional state, withholding from something they know they already like. and they know that
Yeah.
there's more there where that came from, sort of thing. Like,
well, and it still also kind of follows this rule. It just kind of starts later in the pacing. You know, even though they're starting with he eats her out first, like, hi, nice to meet you, ma'am. You mind if I, you know, do this? You know,
mind if I put my dick
that's
in
not
there?
how it goes, but chapter
Excuse
2.
me, miss. Would you like to take this?
I know you just broke my nose, but
I've got a real banger for you.
But like, I think in terms of everything else that happens later on in the book, it's actually pretty low intensity. It just feels like it's high intensity because it starts with that.
For one thing, it's a really hot scene. So I do
you.
think it feels intense because, like, they're both reacting to, like, a primal instinct, right?
Yeah.
And it does feel very primal, but the intensity between them continues because the emotional connection they build from that point on.
Yeah. And it is that kind of withholding feeling, like,
yeah,
okay, you know you could be having that if you weren't, you know, stuck in your own head about it.
Yeah, if you weren't, like, telling yourself no about it. If you weren't, like, saving room for Jesus.
Yeah.
Because Jesus is in the room.
The monster hellscape capitalist hellscape universe.
I love that meme that's, like, you know, narrowing, like, there's a couple. There's one where, like, Jesus is, like, a giant next to a skyscraper and he's looking in a window and it's like, I see you masturbating.
Yes, I love that one.
I love that one. And then there's another one that's like, your home, your block, your city, your country, your world, the universe. And then Jesus is, like, arms out, like, holding the universe. And he's like, don't masturbate.
Man, Jesus is a perv.
Jesus is a perv. He's really concerned about you touching
keeping
yourself.
in on your window.
Jesus, come on. Be cool,
that's
man.
Not cool. That's not cool, man.
That's not cool, man. Okay, so back to fake dating.
Back to fake dating. Well, so, like, yeah, okay.
Okay, but, like,
I feel like I
think
explained
the
the whole
point
thing
you're
pretty...
making is that fake dating is really great for that physical arc because, like, the tension is there with, like, the hand holding, is this for real? And then we have to kiss in public because we have to make it look authentic. And then we have to, and then maybe we accidentally kiss, but, like, was someone looking and they knew and I didn't, and it's getting more heated. And, like, fake dating's really great for that as a trope because the tension is already built into it in a lot of ways, right? Is that the point you're making?
That is the point I'm making, but also a little bit better than the point I was making. Because, like, when I write from that kind of beat outline that I just kind of mentally keep tabs on, I am kind of saying, okay, they need to get to this kind of physical landmark in their relationship. Mm-hmm. And then they gotta get to the next one. And the thing that is going, because it's not them naturally pursuing this of, you know, their own free time and the hanging out together, because it has a social
agenda.
Pressures, you can kind of tip the scale and have, like, create these situations where they're kind of expected to just kind of go hit that landmark. Of course, we circle back around to no one's gonna actually be like, hey, when are you gonna bone down? I mean, okay.
But at
in a Regency, right? I think in a Regency, you could have someone be
That's
like,
absolutely
"Did you
true.
consummate your marriage, Mr. Darcy?" You know, like,
I
some
really
shit like
how that was a very vaudeville Regency member.
Listen, I do JFK and vaudeville. Those are my only. I cannot do a vaudeville JFK. Was it JFK who said he desired Berliners carnally?
I have no idea. I need to look that up.
There's like some
I'm so scared to like type in desiring Berliners carnally, but it's happening. Let's see.
Because like I think the speech was like he said something like I want a donut, and like Berliner and donut are like the same thing in Dutch. But like essentially he said I desire the people of Berlin carnally.
The Poles carnally?
Maybe?
In a speech given during the U.S. President's 1977 visit to Poland, he appeared to express sexual desire for the then communist country. Okay, so who was the president in 1977? I was thinking, is this Lyndon B. Johnson? That's who it looks like.
Oh, that's less fun if it's. I mean, I can't remember.
It's
if I
kind of
Lyndon
more
B.
fun
Johnson.
because I have a lot less like. Oh, it's Jimmy Carter. Sorry, Jimmy.
Jimmy Carter.
Your
okay.
Face.
No, I love Jimmy Carter.
I do
had
too.
a peanut farm. He's like the only president who almost got killed by a water rabbit.
A water rabbit?
There's like footage of this that's really funny. He's like in a little boat fishing or something, and then like a rabbit in the swamp he's kind of like fishing in shoots out of the water and like knocks over his boat because it's a little boat that he's in. It's like a little canoe type thing, and you know, like he falls in the water, and Secret Service is like the president's under attack.
That's hilarious.
And it was just a rabbit. Yeah.
Oh.
No, I love it. I love that.
Also he's very philanthropic, like as a retired president.
Did you know?
I mean, most of them are, but like
about his efforts to exterminate the New Guinea worm, which is the most terrifying worm ever.
It's horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. I saw him in an interview back in the 90s, and I can't get the imagery of what he said out of my head. It's there forever. So
I was listening to an episode of Sawbones where they were talking about parasites, and they covered the New Guinea worm.
God,
and
help us! No, I was never
driving.
listen to that.
I mean, it's a fantastic podcast. I cannot recommend it more.
I
know,
love it so much, you've recommended it before, but like in an interview, Jimmy Carter said this back in the 90s, and I have never been the same since. So I don't like that things can exist like this.
Yeah, no, but I was definitely driving, and the need to itch the bottom of your foot while you're listening to what this worm does is terrible.
Nope. Whew.
We were talking about
I'm sorry
dating.
if the snapping came off really bad in the microphone. I
did
lost
not hear
control
it at all.
of my body. Okay, can we talk about something else now?
Yeah,
but you're gonna have to begin
dating.
it because my brain is stuck.
Okay. So when you're dating the New Guinea worm.
Oh, shut up! Why are you the worst?
Listen, I have no excuses for myself. This.
We have to give them a warning now. Like, we had to give them one last week that, don't listen to the first 6.5 minutes of this.
I love it when we have to tell people don't listen to this part of the podcast. You know it's bad.
Don't listen to us.
Don't listen to our podcast point blank.
No, I mean, really, like, just know that our minds are wandering and you're here for the ride. Okay.
Well, so I think, like, obviously at some point it has to become not fake, or they have to want it to not be fake.
Yeah.
Or people have to discover that it was fake the entire time.
Yes.
I feel
which
like that's
then means that they discover that it was never fake. Actually.
Which is, like, gotta be such a switcheroo for, like, everyone else who lives in the book. You
yes!
know, like, you were just faked it. Guys, I know you're faking it. What do you mean you're
okay,
not
but
faking
now
it
you're
now?
together for real. Like, I don't know what
I do not believe
is.
you.
Yeah, you
It wasn't
lied
funny
to
the
me.
first
You've
time,
lost
guys.
your credibility, and now you're doing it again. Yes. That would be kind of like a terrible premise as far as like writing a book, but kind of a great premise if it was reality, is two people like just deciding to fake date as a joke.
Oh my god.
And then
And then it becomes real.
And then but then they realize like, oh, this is a joke. But then like they go back and people are like, it's still not funny. And they're like, this one's actually real. Like, so like then it becomes like convincing people that it's not a joke anymore and they're not pretending. And so like the tension there. I don't know, it's kind of a weird little idea.
What are we have to do
to
convince you we're actually dating? There's your contemporary we bone down in front of people.
That's hilarious. Join our OnlyFans and I'll prove it.
God. Imagine being friends with those people and being like, I'm so sick of you people.
Yeah, exactly. Like I need to seek out stable people to hang with. Like
I need better friends.
I don't know why you're so attention seeking, but here we are, you narcissists. Like no one's as interested in your dating life as you think so.
Well, no, so like I can totally see like a book that starts out that way because everyone's like, you guys would be so cute together.
Or they're like, you guys would kill each other.
You know, and then they just kind of like decide to like that's why they prank their friends.
Yeah.
Well, no, okay,
like,
no, this is a whole plot now, and I dig it.
I know. We're both ruining our lives here. You want to join?
You should do this one.
Write this one?
No, this one's all you.
This one's all me.
No, because obviously I have to write the
Yeah, I have a lot to write
the
too,
monster
Kate.
version. No, because earlier.
Oh, you have to write the monster version. You're right.
You know, the one where like, yes,
yes, I am here for it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
but I wanted to talk about layering, like opposites attract.
Okay. Yes, layering. We were gonna talk
about layering. Because, like, boyfriend material did opposites attract with fake dating really well.
Okay. I've never
That's
read
kind of
boyfriend material.
Observation. So we have one guy who is going to fake date somebody that he has decided is uptight and unfun.
Mm.
But, like, the subtext is very much like, this man intimidates me, right?
Okay, yeah.
And, but he needs to prove that he is stable because he's seeing, a lot of times fake dating has to do with, like, work, is, like, the one thing that, like, I tried to come up with something other than work, but it did not work out.
Well, it's work or like home for the holidays and your family is like really putting the pressure on you.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really common.
So he is seeing discrimination because he's gay and they want him to like, you know, help with his image that he's not like a party sort of guy.
He's not like flamboyant. He's normal, quote unquote.
Yeah, exactly. And so this guy that he has dismissed is like a human rights lawyer, I want to say, but I could be wrong on that. It's been a while since I read this book. And I read it really fast because, man, I just got sucked in. I can't remember the pretense. I think the lawyer agrees to the fake dating because, like, pressure from his family.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And it ends up being really sweet. Like, I mean, okay. It is just it's a really good book. That one was really good. It is a closed door.
Okay.
But like I have this thing where like I'm fine with closed door if it doesn't read like an open door romance, right? Like if
you're going to have to explain that a little more.
Okay. Okay. So if it reads like an open door, I feel like there isn't much external plot outside of the romance. Right? Like the sexual tension is really propelling the story, right? So it reads like an open door romance. So if you close that door, like you've made a promise to me that you are not keeping, right? but there was quite a bit of emotional arc, and their emotional connection worked really well with it still being satisfying as a closed door, right?
Okay.
And also the writing in the book was just really good, so it worked for me, right?
Yeah, okay, I could see that.
Yeah. So that was a really good fake romance. I don't know. Kate, what else? I feel like we accidentally talked about fake baby, or not fake baby. They're real babies. It'd be really weird to fake a baby.
Oh, have you ever seen those that are like movie props?
Yeah, horrifying.
Oh, they're terrifying. This woman, like, there's like a little documentary about her, but she makes these babies out of like some kind of silicone, and then she paints them, and the way she paints them is just so lifelike. And they're like very expensive dolls, and sometimes she makes them for like people with Alzheimer's, I think, because they like enjoying holding a baby without being a danger to the baby, because the weight feels very realistic, and like because it's kind of jelly like, and it's definitely not supporting its own head. Okay.
But I don't think it's too sad for me to say on the podcast.
Okay, sad stories for later.
Yeah, sad stories for later. We're putting that one in the pocket.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, fake babies.
Fake babies.
Fake babies.
No, fake dating.
Fake dating. Surprise baby. I love how we accidentally talked about surprise baby, and it was like a really insightful, fun conversation that I have literally listened to twice because I'm like, that was just so fun. I want to listen to it again. Right? So, but then this episode, I'm like, I don't know where we're going with this one. Like, we actually were planning on talking about this, and
sometimes I don't know what it is. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to call this episode a miss. I do feel like we had some fun moments.
It's got its moments. We should probably remove the part where I'm talking bad about it.
Yeah, no, I'm cutting this.
Okay, good.
All of it.
All of it. All 47 minutes of it.
There was this Christmas audio book that I didn't end up liking all that much. I don't remember what it was called. I could look it up, but I don't want to name a book I don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember why I didn't like it. I think it was mostly just the two main characters. So you got a man and a woman. Her first name is his last name, and his first name is her last name.
Oh, that's confusing right off the bat.
Yeah, no, it's very confusing right off the bat, and I was like, I get it, it's cute, but as an audiobook, this is horrendous. Like, I cannot get through this. And like just from there, maybe reading it on as a paper book is a whole different experience. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that does happen quite a bit, that just
they don't translate perfectly from one media to another.
Yeah, and it's a the thing's very cute in that she keeps getting emails that are meant for him, and he keeps getting emails that are meant for her.
Oh,
and so her
really cute.
Yeah, like that's adorable. Like I love the idea in theory. I just when I was listening to it, I was, I just kept getting lost, and
like what character are we talking about here, sort of thing.
Yeah, like I'm so confused. But so I guess her mom writes her like this really long, detailed email for like the Christmas letter type of email, and she sends it to him instead of her daughter, and so he's like always really annoying to her, and he, when he forwards her the emails that get sent to him by accident, and he's like all smug about whatever, like, the fact that her mom's clearly like, and she doesn't have a boyfriend and her fiance dumped her for, like it's very much, and so they do get into a fake relationship, and he goes with her to her family Christmas. And I don't know, maybe that's also kind of where it lost me, because I did kind of feel very much like, you don't need to go with the guy who's an asshole to you.
Yeah.
I kind of
that's the thing. I love enemies to lovers, but like I'm not interested in abuse to lovers, right?
Yeah,
Like,
well, and it's also just like you can layer the fake dating and enemies to lovers, just like the Roxy Noir book you just talked about.
uh-huh. Yeah.
But like I feel like you definitely you really need to lock in that like a solid reason for why they're doing this and instead of doing literally anything else.
Well, and then also with enemies to lovers, it needs to be a back and forth. It can't be one person just beating down on the other.
Yes.
And also we need to have an established reason to like both characters, right? So
Yeah.
even if they don't like each other, we have to know why we like them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you can't just have characters who are utter assholes to each other and not creating
And then
a
call
reason
that
for...
chemistry. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
work.
no. It's so hard to explain where the line is on that and like what makes those things different.
Well, and I think it really depends on like a reader to reader. Like,
yes. Because I think that's kind of like also like what makes banter work is one of those kind of fiddly things that some readers think this banter over here works, and then someone else reads it and they go, no, that was terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there have definitely been a number of books that people are like, oh, I love the banter. And I'm like, that was trite. Like, I'm not here for it. I don't enjoy what happened there, And, like, it is very much a personal preference. So I think everyone's going to have a different... But, like, I just really think that, like, with enemies to lovers, if there are attacks happening back and forth, that really helps balance out whether or not this is abuse.
Yeah, if it's one-sided, it definitely kind of falls into that bully romance category.
Exactly. And like that has its own thing. But like
it is its own thing.
It's not... I need to know about that going in because I don't want to read it. Right? Like that's not something I like.
And like I feel like because it's so common to say you love enemies to lovers romance that people kind of don't. And I feel like people also kind of look at bully romance and they just kind of immediately label, oh, that's problematic, I'm not touching it, I just love enemies to romance. I feel like there is a bit of there should be a bit more of a gray scale between the two.
Trying to think of a bullies. The only time I've really ever seen bullies to romance, I feel like I have seen some billionaire, like the Billionaires Wake Up Call Girl. I would say that there's some elements of bullying there, but the reader knows that she is actually the person calling him being an asshole to him. Right? So like he's getting away with behaving like a total ass because he's got a lot of money and he's very smart. And the way that that's balanced for me is I know that she is also the person that's driving him fucking insane. Right? Dude, I was even warned before I picked up that book. Like, they were like, hey, don't pick this up before bed. You will be up all the way through the night. Right? And I flew too close to the sun. Like, I was like, I have such great impulse control. I read it like 2 hours past my bedtime. And then I was like, I have to go to sleep. And so I lay down. And then I got out of bed and went downstairs at like 2:00 in the morning. No joke.
Oh my God.
And read for another hour and a half. Like, I was so tired. I was like, this is a terrible choice I've made. But it was such a fun book. So.
Okay, that makes me really want to pick up that book. So
it's so fun.
I might try that.
Oh my gosh, it is such catnip. Okay. Because I don't generally enjoy billionaire romance. It's just not my thing, right? But Annika Martin writes in such a way that it's like, how do I put this into words? It's like all the characters are fully fleshed, but a great character, like a great, almost stereotype.
Okay.
Right? Like, they are still fully fleshed people, but like the things that like make you really want like the villainous like manager to like get their comeuppance, those are still there, right? And so it's like a great it's like just very delicious. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, it's very fun, it's very hot, it's very playful, and it's just very much like she's just really she's just really playing in like
Your expectations.
in your expectations with just enough subversion. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, no, that sounds really interesting.
It's really fun. I mean, it's
Okay.
really fun. So I definitely suggest. I've read a couple of the books in that series. And I definitely suggest it. It's so fun. It's not a fake dating. There is a fake dating in the series that was really great. And that was a grumpy sunshine. And what worked with that grumpy sunshine was just so much how, because it's the heroine that's the sunshine. And like how much she was just like I can see my happiness pisses you off. So like watch me glitter. Like she was just very like, nope, I'm not going to be intimidated by you, Mr. Grumps, and just was very much herself. And again, the layering there worked great. And of course, they're on a cruise ship and in close quarters, and she has to like they have like the proximity, but there's also a third person like in their suite that knows it's fake. And so that's kind of fun too. Ooh, let's talk about the people that are on or like in on like the subversion, right? Not the subversion. On the lie.
Just in
right?
on the yeah, on the lie. Okay.
Yeah, because there's always someone in a book that knows this is not happening for real, right?
I mean, no, I wouldn't say necessarily.
But it's fun when there is.
It's a choice, right? To have someone who is and kind of give the characters a break from the lie.
Well, and then also give them someone to aid in the lie.
Yeah, and kind of like someone who they can confide in when they're realizing it's changing from fake to real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that all we have to say about that?
Yeah, no, that's all I gotta say about it.
I think that might be all I have to say about it.
I know you were like, I have so much about this, and I was like, no.
Okay, so they're in the Loveless. I have to read someone other than.
Yeah, you need to read another book.
Okay. I need to read another book. In the Loveless.
Marty has series, read one book.
There's the Best Fake Fiance. And it's the second book in the series. And his brothers know that it's fake. And so there's this whole moment where two of the brothers like contrive for them to practice kissing because they had a in public kiss that was terribly embarrassing. And they're like, this is not going to work. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And it ends up being really funny because the performative kiss that they're forced to have with the two brothers watching ends up being really hot. And so everyone's really uncomfortable.
Okay, no, I dig that.
Oh
like, guys,
God,
you don't.
So
now we're in on the lie. We don't want to be here for this.
Yes.
Stop. You're torturing me.
There's a joke where like the brothers are walking away and one of them was like, I cannot believe you talked me into that. That was so uncomfortable. And so like we're overhearing them have an argument about how like this was not a good idea to do. Sort of thing.
I think she really nails the sibling dynamic, and I just,
oh my gosh,
the
way she writes interpersonal relationships is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, I think we got
brother dynamic is amazing. I feel like I have one more thought.
I feel like at the beginning of this, I was like, I'm gonna talk about beard science, and then I had a moment. I was like, that's not about fake dating. Why did I think it was?
Because there is a fake date in it.
Oh, is there? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's like one fake date. You're right.
One
okay.
Fake date where Billy takes Jen. Is that her name?
Really no, because it's Jen not Billy and Jen. It's Cletus and Banana Girl.
Cletus and Jen. Banana Girl.
Oh, is her name Jen?
I think so.
So her name is Jen. Oh, right, Billy. Okay, it's not his book, but it's still his fake date.
Yes, exactly. And oh god, it's so good because oh man, I gotta reread this one. Okay, so
God, yeah, no, I feel like I read this book like once a year because it's just it hits so many things that I absolutely love.
Because then we have the jealousy from Cletus where he's like, why would I ever agree that this is a good idea? Billy only does things that he only does things because he wants to. And so like Cletus is still being all dumb about the fact that he's totally into Jennifer. Yep, Jennifer Sylvester. But at the same time, he's totally threatened by his very like
his own
very
brother.
attractive, very put together older brother who's got like all this shit going for him, right? That is a great like use of like the fake dating in a small dose.
No, okay. Now I remember. I want to save that book for a different trope that I want to talk about. That I need to come up with more examples.
Okay, I need you to tell me what that trope is.
Similar to the concept of a fake dating is the like just structurally similar. That's I think why I was mostly confused about it.
Yeah.
Is the sex contract trope, which is one of my favorite things ever. I wish I found more books with it that did it, and like because this book kind of does it in that teach me kind of way. I mean, we're gonna save it for another episode.
We're gonna have to talk about teach me because I do have
that's its own trope.
It is its own trope, and I
think it kind of falls into that though.
I would love more examples of like sex contract. How do you feel sex contract works in the premise of Beard Science?
Because I see there's definitely you see it as a teach me.
I do, or blackmail.
Well, I think because of the blackmail, it is a contract between the two that she's going to give him the evidence that he wants after she gets everything she wants, so that they have a contract between them. And part of her contract ends up being teach her how to kiss or whatever. And so, like, maybe it doesn't fully fulfill the trope, but like it leans into it, and I dig that.
Yeah, I do too. Gosh, that book is so good.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of the time, if you just kind of outright do it, it may fall flat on its face.
Well, and I think also, again, it's one of those that, like, the power dynamic has to play out correctly.
Yes, the power dynamic is such a, like, tricky line to navigate. Yeah. Okay, we're going to save this for another episode.
Absolutely, we have to. I'm so looking forward to that conversation.
My face is so lit up right now. We said we're going to do this by next week.
What was that?
We're going to forget that we said we were going to do this by next week.
I'm sure I'll remember. My concern is that, like, I won't have great examples, or, like, my brain won't come to the show with us.
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern.
Those are both very likely scenarios. All right, well, I think we ought to wrap it up.
I'm so excited for this, and then also set your expectations.
Reader, listener, it's us. We don't have expectations.
We enjoy our conversations. We hope you do too. So, all right. So, do you want to give a piece of writing advice?
Piece of writing advice. If only I could. Oh, okay. I'm always. I wrote so much today. You know that I did.
Okay.
I feel like I shouldn't say this on the podcast, but like, you definitely, when you have other things you're supposed to be doing, is the best time to write, because you will write like the wind.
So true.
So put off everything else important.
Yeah. Pick irresponsibility.
Yes. Yeah. Because that is the way to get.
That might be what I've been doing wrong.
Yeah, you think you might try that?
It might be. I might need to like use writing as blowing off my responsibilities for a little while, and just like not, and let it be like the fun thing I'm doing, instead of like being the upstanding citizen I try to be all the fucking time.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm always trying to kind of triangulate a number of things that I have to be doing. Yeah. That I'm like, okay, okay, that it's been happening quite a bit, that every time I sit down to edit the podcast, I'm like, oh, what if I wrote a few sentences first? You know, it's like 11 o'clock at night. I haven't started editing. It's going to take me 2 hours. So I'm like, what if I wrote a little bit first?
I'm just going to have a little piece of cake before, like, you know, I eat my veggies. It's fine.
Yeah. And, you know, you're not going to eat your veggies.
I'm going to eat a shit ton of cake. So.
Yeah.
And I love cake. So.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
So I don't know. I feel like that's not great advice, but like,
it's definitely not bad either. I think the advice
makes
here
writing
is
more
like,
fun.
Yeah, exactly. Let writing be your guilty pleasure that you're You're allowing yourself
I
to
like
have.
it best when that's where it is. Like, even though I know that's not where it should be.
I mean,
I
it
don't
sounds
know.
exactly like where it should be. I
No,
think
like, I mean, like, blowing
the
off important things in your life.
I mean, that shit still has to get done. But I think that's part of, like, our hustle culture being so fucking exhausting. And, like, why, like, taking those moments to, like, just blow off something else because this is something that brings me joy is so great. And letting your writing be something that brings you joy.
Yeah. All right, what's yours?
My piece of writing advice.
Yes, yours.
Oh, you want mine then?
I was taking a drink when you did that. I almost spit it out.
You have almost made me do spit takes before too.
Girl, you made me like I was taking a drink of something. You and Rebecca did this at the same time. And I choked on it because I was trying so hard not to laugh, and it went up my nose, and then I just couldn't breathe, and I was still trying not to like spill the water in my nose anywhere. I ended up throwing up a little because I was just dying.
I remember this. What did we do? What was our joke?
I cannot even remember what was so funny.
Was it recorded?
No.
Dang it.
No, we were watching Selling Sunset or some shit.
God damn it. We'll have to see if she remembers, because that was so funny. Maybe that's my piece of writing a joke. Writing advice is just be funny.
Be funnier, listener.
But like, really, like, honestly, like, there isn't a genre where a little bit of comedy like doesn't come in nicely. So I guess, you know, just pay attention to levity and moments that you can add it in, and
yeah,
as long as it works for your writing. Be funny. I don't know. That's terrible advice, but that's all I got right now, guys.
Zarathustra.
What?
Oh no, I'm making an edgy joke.
An edgy joke. Ooh, I'm excited.
Stupid pretentious joke.
So you can find Kate on TikTok and Instagram.
Yes, let's leave it
Kate
there.
Pryor.
Yeah.
And on Mastodon.
And Mastodon on romancelandia.club.
Romancelandia.
I do have the tab just like sitting open, but I keep thinking, oh, I should go on here and scroll around some more, and then I just keep forgetting to do that.
I'm just like, right now I'm just like at TikTok and Instagram and my newsletter, and that's what I'm putting my energy into. Like, that's enough. I'm not even putting much energy into TikTok and Instagram. So,
you know, I think if I'm not actively about to like publish a book,
me too.
I don't see the point in like post. Like, I don't have anything to post, and it feels weird to like force something to be posted. Like, you can have a picture of my cat sometimes.
Yes, I do try to, in between like books, I try to be more like me and interests and other books I'm enjoying reading, stuff like that. Right now I am just on like a financial nonfiction kick with my reading, so that's not really on brand for my romantic comedy. But that's one of the reasons why I love my newsletter so much, is because like it feels very natural to send out twice a month, and in those moments I'm also doing author swaps, so my books are being sent to their list. Does that make sense? Like, it's just, it feels like authentic connection that does actually do stuff. So yeah. So in between publishing, that's the best way to know what's going on with me. And also, like, the way that I like to promote, I see the most response from it. So, like, that's really cool, too.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I'm glad you find a lot of peace in your newsletter.
I really enjoy it. It is by far my favorite thing to do for, like,
one
even
of these
during.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes less mental drain and is more fun. And it's probably because it is more fun that it takes less mental drain than like putting together like an Instagram post or a TikTok.
See, I think it's just I'm very much more acquainted with the formula of a TikTok
social media sort of thing. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because I sit there in front of an email like doing that thing where I end every single sentence with an exclamation point.
Uh-huh.
Or I'm like, did I overshare in that sentence when I said, I'm happy that she said this? Is it better to ignore that, ignore everything you said and not overshare? And I just do the thing where it's like,
you just you're just like very
I
much
overanalyze
like, it's not
it.
fun. It sounds
not
fun.
I don't know if I already told you this, but like that week I was like sick and out of my mind tired.
Mm-hmm.
And I got an email from this woman who normally I spend 2 to 5 hours agonizing over how to respond to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I immediately shot back an email that was like, yeah, here's my question. Here's another question I would spend 2 hours at worrying over if I phrased it right. And then I just sent it back to her without thinking about it. And then I was like, was I just too tired to be anxious?
Yeah, you probably were.
And like,
but like, what was her response?
Oh no, like, and she had a chill response. So I'm like, but now that she sent me another email, so now I'm like, oh, back to worrying over every little thing.
Yeah.
But like, and this same woman, she sends me a message on Instagram because I guess we're having 2 conversations parallel.
Yep, that happens.
And I immediately respond, and it's easy to talk to her.
Yeah.
And
so
I
it's
don't like it's not even the person. It's literally just the format. Like I have to write you a long form letter.
Salutations.
Yeah, salutations. I'm writing from the year of 1809, our Lord.
Our Lord.
Yes, you do.
God Explorer. Okay, but you can find me and my
you can find
newsletter on martyv.com, martyv.com.
Are people spelling it wrong? Are they searching Marty?
I just said that like I was trying to say it as fast as a person can say anything. Martyv.com.
Oh, okay.
Like, it just didn't work.
Gotcha.
And
all right.
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at martyvauthor. That's it. Listener, go.
That's
live
it.
your
Goodbye.
Life. Have a fake date, man.
Yeah,
tell us how it
date
went.
Somebody.
Dude, tell us how it went. I want to know what it's like in real life. So, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
We hope you're being extravagant and we love you. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.